Last game we have to talk about, we have the 0-1 Dallas Cowboys, who were defeated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-29, taking on the Los Angeles Chargers on the road in LA. The Chargers defeated Washington last week 20-16. This game is going to be played 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday on CBS. The Chargers go into this game as a 3-point favorite. Now, Brandon Staley had a really good head coaching debut. They got a pretty good win against Washington, and his defense played pretty well. But this is going to be a good early test just to see just how well Brandon Staley's defense is, because Washington's offense really isn't a team that's a good benchmark to test yourself against, because first of all, they don't have Curtis Samuel and they don't really have a lot of great playmakers. But you do have to give them props. They did play fairly well. But I want to see how this defense plays against a Dallas Cowboys offense that's really good when it comes to being able to throw the football against you, because even though you're going to be without Michael Gallup, you still do have Amari Cooper, who had a phenomenal game. I was playing against somebody in one of my fantasy football leagues who had Amari Cooper, and he lit me up. You got CeeDee Lamb. You're going to have Cedric Wilson in replace of Michael Gallup, who I have a lot of confidence in. I think he's going to be a guy who steps up and becomes that third wide receiver if Michael Gallup ends up leaving Dallas in free agency in the offseason. So you're going to have a pretty good test, but Dallas still does have some concerns when it comes to the offensive line. You got suspensions. You still have injuries there, so that could be a factor. So for Dallas, I want to see if Mike McCarthy is going to feed Zeke. Okay, is he going to continue to just be this all air raid, style coach and not really put a lot of emphasis on the run game? Because that's something that a lot of Packers fans pointed out when they hired him. They said, okay, well, you got Zeke, but, Mike McCarthy's not going to use him, because Mike McCarthy is someone who likes to throw the football. You need to give Zeke more carries. Like last year, I think Zeke only had like 4 carries going into halftime of last week's game, and that simply is inexcusable. There's no excuse for why Ezekiel Elliott should have 11 carries for 33 yards when you're paying him the money that you're paying him. Like, give Ezekiel Elliott more fucking touches. It doesn't make no damn sense. You got Ezekiel Elliott. Feed Zeke. Ezekiel Elliott needs 20 touches. And it doesn't even have to be on run plays. Just give Ezekiel Elliott the football, man. Like, it doesn't make no damn sense. Why are you going to pay this man all this money and you're not going to freaking use him? Seriously. Mike McCarthy, like, what the hell? Give Ezekiel Elliott the damn ball. And on top of that, I feel like if Dallas has to win this game throwing the football, they can. But I still feel like Dallas will be at their best when they're able to be balanced. On top of that, what's going on with the kicking situation for Dallas? Like, Greg Zuerlein costed Dallas last week. He was 3 of 5. He missed some key field goals. There's some rumors out there that Dallas is going to sign or has signed another kicker to push Greg Zuerlein, but we'll see if that's going to hold true. So there's a saying, I forgot which coach said that, but he said that having a good kicker is the difference between being a great head coach and being unemployed. If you don't have a good kicker, you're going to end up out of a job. And for Mike McCarthy right now, it looks like he may be out of a job if he can't get this kicking situation situated. On top of that, I feel like Dallas, if they could be more effective running the football for Ezekiel Elliott, they could be really good inside of the red zone. So I really feel like they need to get Ezekiel Elliott going in this game. Now I want to see how the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers are going to perform against the cornerbacks of the LA Chargers, because this is a very good matchup. Michael Davis, Asante Samuel Jr., the rookie out of FSU, and you have Chris Harris Jr. going against Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Cedric Wilson. I think that's a pretty exciting matchup to watch. And on top of that, you got Joey Bosa coming off the edge. So I think that's going to be really important to monitor as well. So, when you look at the offensive line situation for Dallas, I think it could cause some problems there, which is why I think it's really important for the Dallas Cowboys to maintain their ability to be balanced. On top of that, I'm wondering about the Dallas Cowboys pass rush, because before I started recording, there was a report that came out and said that DeMarcus Lawrence is battling an injury. He may not be able to play in this game. So you look at the fact that the Dallas Cowboys had no sacks on Tom Brady last week, And you look at the fact that DeMarcus Lawrence was really the only guy defensively who was actually, getting consistent pressure. He just wasn't able to get his hands on Tom Brady. So I'm really concerned about the pass rush for Dallas in this game. And Dallas already has issues at cornerback. And we're not talking about Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is fine. We're talking about their cornerback 2 spot with Anthony Brown, because there were a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans, a lot of you guys were heavily vocal on Anthony Brown's performance against Tampa Bay. So it doesn't look like anything has really changed when it comes to secondary play for Dallas. It's still a huge issue. So a way that you help out a struggling secondary is by being able to have an effective pass rush. Because if you have an effective pass rush, then your cornerbacks don't have to be in coverage for all that long. Another issue is going to be, okay, how are the Dallas Cowboys going to defend Austin Eckler? Because Austin Eckler is a dual threat running back, which is something that the Dallas Cowboys have had problems against in the past. Now, last week, he didn't really have that much of an impact in the past game. He had no receptions, no receiving yards, but he did have 15 carries for 57 rushing yards. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this Dallas Cowboys defense defends him, because you have a lot of talented linebackers. Okay, don't really know what you're doing with Keanu O'Neal, but I mean, you do have guys who could end up being really good against Austin Eckler. You do have the talent there. The question is the coaching going to be there? Is Dan Quinn going to be able to get these guys in the proper position? Now, for the Chargers, okay, your offensive line played really good, especially against Washington. Okay, you look at Rashawn Slater. I saw like a crazy number. He was on the field for like a lot of I think it was like 40 passing attempts, and he allowed 0 pressures and no sacks. And he was going against Chase Young, remind you, one of the best young and up-and-coming pass rushers that we have in the NFL. And he held his own. He showed everybody why he was the first-round pick. And there were a lot of people who said that Rashawn Slater was better than Penei Sewell. So Rashawn Slater was really good. So you look at a really improved offensive line for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that Justin Herbert is going to go off this game. I think there's going to be a lot of big plays in the passing game. And you already look at the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are probably going to be without their best pass rusher in DeMarcus Lawrence. We don't know what the status of him is going to be going into this game. I think the Chargers are going to have a lot of big plays in the passing game. And I think this is a game that could end up being a shootout. Now, if you're a Chargers fan, you're hoping that this game isn't a shootout, because, I mean, Brandon Staley was known for his defense. He's a defensive-minded coach, so therefore the Dallas Cowboys should not be, going tit for tat with you. But if that game ends up going that way, then I really do still feel like the Chargers can win this game. But ultimately, I'm still going to side with the Chargers to win. I think they win this game 35-24. I'm confident in Brandon Staley's defense. I feel like his defense is going to have a really good game. Dallas does have some injury concerns when it comes to the offensive line. La'el Collins is suspended for a couple of games. So I really feel like the pass rush for the Chargers could hit home. And Dallas is going to have, a solid game from Dak. Dak is going to play really good. But ultimately, I feel like the Chargers are going to be able to get a lot of chunk yardage on this Dallas Cowboys defense. And if you look at Tampa Bay probably could have put up way more points if they didn't have, so many turnovers. They turned the football over 4 times, pretty much 3 times if you're not including that halftime interception that Tom Brady threw when he pretty much threw a Hail Mary. So when you look at, Dallas, for them to win this game, they're going to have to force some turnovers. I don't really know if they're going to be able to do that. I don't really trust their secondary. I think Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Jalen Guyton are going to have big days against this Dallas Cowboys secondary. Outside of Trayvon Diggs, not really sold on their corners. And also my guy Kevin Joseph, he's not playing. So, I think that this is going to be a game that Justin Herbert goes off. And I think that the Chargers are going to end up pulling off the win. So I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers to win. You guys let me know who you guys have winning this game down in the comment section down below.